Hello, this is Stefan Cherry, and I'm about to perform the user guide for BOLO 8.0, the root tier. As a root user, you would have to have received your credentials from another root user. You would receive an email that looks something like this, with the URL of the site, the username, and your temporary password. Let's begin. Upon creating, upon first logging in to your new user account, you'll be requested to reset your password from the temporary password. The screen will look something like this, where you enter your password based on the criteria that has been given to you. Here we have the welcome page for the root user. As a root user, you're able to edit all BOLOs from all agencies. Here we're able to see all the information about this specific BOLO. Go back. As a root user, you're also able to archive BOLOs. On the front page, you're able to filter BOLOs by agency. So my agency, internal, my BOLOs, and I have not created any BOLOs. Or I could choose an agency. So FIU, this will show all the BOLOs created by FIU. This will show all the BOLOs created by the Gmail department. Okay, let's return back to the home page. Okay, back to the home page. Here in the Create tab, here's where we're able to create BOLOs. We could check them as internal or non-internal. To put the date reported, time reported, select category. This is for auto theft, bulk theft, and general is for other categories such as arson, missing person, etc. Here we have feature image. This is the image that will appear in the main page in front of the BOLO. And image uploads will appear in the PDF that will be generated. And they serve as extra information to help identify the BOLO. Here we have video link, additional info, summary. For more detailed description of the BOLO create page, I recommend to look at the user guide for officers, where I go more in depth on how to create BOLO. And here we have archive. Both root and admin users have the ability to delete or restore archive BOLOs. As an example, I will restore this just so you can see it in action. This BOLO with the ID of the BOLO has been restored. Should go home to view the restored BOLO, and here it is. Now I should archive it again. And it has been archived. And now we're going to view just to confirm that will happen. And wow, there goes the archive bolo. In the agency directory tab, we can view all the agencies created. And the search tab, this allows you to search through active bolos. Give you an example, I created several bolos with the summary test. We could put it into the wildcard and now we're able to search. If I want to specifically look at this agency, I can specify that in the search as well. If I want to, well, I'll give an example. So this was the student Gmail, so that was the Gmail agency that I created under a root user. So for agency, I'll put Gmail department and test, and we should see a red Ferrari pop up. Give it some time here, and here, red Ferrari. Now, the admin page. This is where the administrator will have most of its privileges. These first 4 tabs are also available to both administrators and root users, but root users have access to these final 5 tabs. We'll briefly go over these first 4. Dashboard is just a link to this dashboard. Here's where we're able to add new agencies. A feature that's unique to root that's not present in administrator is root users can edit information for all agencies because they are the root, while admin will only be able to edit for their specific agency. And likewise, both root and admin users are able to create new agencies. And we're going to see an example of that. And here we specify the agency name, domain, address, city, state, phone number. And here we can upload the logo, the shield, and the watermark if necessary. Now we're going to get into user management. As a root user, I'm able to create users of all tiers. Supervisors as well could create users, but supervisors are unable to create root users. If a root user needs to be created, it must be first be created by another root user. To show how this page looks and how it works, I'll create a user just for example's sake. So here we have username, first name, last name, agency. So for username, I'll create last demo. First name will be John. Last name will be Doe. Agency. Let's make it Gmail. This is very important. The agency that you pick for the user must correlate with the domain of their email. So the Gmail department gets at Gmail. The FIU department gets at FIU.edu, etc. Just gonna create random. And role is where I choose the role of this user, so I could create another root user. The badge number, we'll give it something random like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Unit, computer science, rank, I'm a student, and submit. Forgive me, my computer has been sluggish after doing several user guides. Um, Now we go to user management. Well, first, notice that you get this notification that lets you know that this user has been created. Now we go to user management, and here we're able to see all the users. Here we see the random.fiu that I created. It's currently not active because I have not logged in with that user, and all these users created by me have been logged in. Now we have BOLO category management. This is if the user desires to add more categories when creating a BOLO. So currently the three categories are auto theft, bulk theft, and general. If I would like to have added another one, I could as a root user. These are privileges that both root users and admin users share. So I could create one called Joe. And the fields could be, well, let's think of a more practical name. Missing child. I could have something as age, race, and gender. And let's preview this template to just see example how it would look on the create page. And this is example of how it would look. Now off to the data analysis page. This page allows us to retrieve data analysis from different departments. So I'm going to click download just so you can see an example of how it looks like. This feature will be more refined in future BOLO versions, but just so we get a gist of how it works, we're going to show it now. I'm going to pause just to let this Excel sheet load. Like I said, the feature isn't fully implemented, but it would open a spreadsheet-like document with populated values. No, don't want to say. For data subscribers, basically allows us to add different users to be able to subscribe to the data that's being generated by the data analysis. Again, this is another feature that's not fully implemented. As you can see, this button currently leads nowhere, but it will be fully implemented in later versions. Edit login page allows us to edit the login page that you saw in the beginning of the demo. This information is only accessed by root users. We could change the title, the subtitle, and the image. This was the logo that we saw in the beginning. And how this works is, if I was to replace this with FIU's logo, the login screen will now have this as a logo. I'm not going to save this change. Actually, I'll save this change. We'll see it at the end of the demo. And as that saves, next we have the edit user guide page. This allows us to edit different user guides that the different tiers will be able to see. Give you an example, I'll edit agency directory. Give it some time to load. Here we're able to change the access levels for which user tiers are able to see what user guide. Here we're able to change the title. Here we're able to edit this, do uploads, add links, change fonts, etc. Whatever we want to do with the information. And we could save it. And as you can see, it has been updated. We can click it just to verify and ensure that the changes have truly been made. And now this is completely different. Since this is localhost, there's no need to change that back. Lastly, we have an editor for our Edit About Us page. Okay, here in our Edit About Us page, I switched to the remote site only because the page on the About Us page on the remote site is actually populated. Which means I just didn't want to rewrite all of this again. To prove that this works, I'm gonna add a random badge to the page. Save. There should be a message that comes up that lets me know this page has been saved. Took a little longer than I expected. And here we could check the About Us page for it to load. And here comes change. Of course, we could always revert this back. Save. I'm gonna give it some moment. The server is a little slow right now at the moment, but of course, when this is installed on your local servers back in the police department, everything will be moving a lot quickly and a lot smoother. And here comes the response. And change is saved. And just to make sure, we're going to refresh this About Us page. And change is saved. And that's about it for the root dashboard. Of course, up here, we have account, which allows you to view your account, see how it's created. This is actually my teammate's account that I logged in. Change password. Of course, you're going to return because we don't want to do that, and I don't have access to email. We have notification, which allows us to subscribe to different agencies. So if I was to select an agency here or here, I would receive all notifications from that agency. So if I subscribe to the Pinecrest Police Office, I'll receive all notifications from the police office. And yeah, user guide is where you can view the user guides that we have edited and created. Here are all the user guides. Specifically, all of these are catered towards the root because we specified root. So these user guides vary depending on the tier level that's currently logged in. And yeah, that sums up the admin user guide for BOLOv8.0.